Wayne Static's legacy is suddenly under fire, and it has nothing to do with his music. A newly announced documentary has triggered legal threats, family backlash, and a growing debate over who actually controls his story. Once unreleased footage, unfinished recordings, and AI technology entered the picture, what started as a tribute quickly turned into a serious conflict. At the center of it all is one question fans can't ignore. Does a longtime friend have the right to tell Wayne Static's story his way? Or does that power belong solely to the family and the estate? Matt Zane says this documentary isn't coming from an outsider looking in, but from someone who was deeply involved in Wayne Static's life and career. According to him, he knew Wayne for roughly 14 years and worked on nearly every project Wayne touched after leaving Static X. He directed multiple solo-era music videos and claims he has years of unseen footage documenting Wayne and Tera Wray behind the scenes. Even more controversial, Zane says he's sitting on unreleased recordings, enough material for an entire EP that were originally created for a film project Tera was developing, but were later blocked by a label. Now, he says he wants to revisit that material, finish what was left incomplete, and even use AI technology to help finalize parts of it, a claim that immediately raised serious concerns about where tribute ends and exploitation begins. The moment those plans became public, both families stepped in and shut the entire idea down. Wayne Static's sister, Amy, released a joint statement on behalf of Wayne's and Tera Wray's families, making it clear they strongly oppose any unauthorized documentary or biography involving their loved ones. They stated that no project focusing on Wayne or Tera should move forward without explicit approval, and warned that any attempt to use their likenesses, private footage, or personal material would be met with legal action. From their perspective, this wasn't just about paperwork or rights. It was about protecting dignity, boundaries, and a legacy they believe should never be shaped without consent. The families didn't stop at legal concerns. They also made it clear they want a painful chapter of Wayne and Tera's lives left in the past. In their statement, they said they strongly object to any further exploration of what they described as a dark and tragic period, arguing that this part of the story has already been shown publicly. They pointed to previous visual releases that documented the dangerous lifestyle leading up to their passing, saying there is nothing left to reveal that wouldn't simply reopen old wounds. From their point of view, revisiting those final years isn't about truth or awareness anymore. It's about reliving tragedy that they believe should finally be allowed to rest. The strongest line the families drew was around AI, and they left no room for interpretation. In their statement, they made it clear they do not want Wayne Static's voice recreated, simulated, or finished using artificial intelligence in any form. With technology now capable of cloning voices and mimicking performances, they see this as crossing a line that can't be uncrossed. To them, using AI to rebuild Wayne's voice isn't innovation, it's a distortion of who he was. They also challenged claims about unreleased music, asking that any recordings allegedly featuring Wayne's real vocals be shared privately with the estate, so authenticity and quality can be verified. What they rejected outright, however, was the idea of a digital version of Wayne speaking or singing for himself. Instead of an unauthorized project, the families pointed fans toward the documentary they do support, an official Static X film titled Evil Disco: The Rise, Fall, and Regeneration of Static X. Unlike the proposed project, this documentary is being made with the full approval of the band and Wayne's estate. It reportedly covers Wayne's entire career, the band's evolution, and the personal struggles along the way, but places those moments within a broader story of creativity, impact, and legacy. The families emphasized that they are not trying to erase the difficult parts of Wayne's life, only to ensure his story is told in a way that honors the full picture rather than isolating the darkest moments. This is where the situation becomes deeply complicated, because both sides believe they are protecting Wayne Static's legacy, just in very different ways. Matt Zane maintains that he isn't chasing controversy or profit, but trying to finish a story he says Wayne and Tera wanted told. From his perspective, the footage, recordings, and unfinished ideas aren't private artifacts, but pieces of a larger narrative that was never completed due to timing, funding, and circumstances beyond anyone's control. He sees the documentary as a responsibility, not a choice. The families, however, see it entirely differently. To them, intention doesn't outweigh consent, and personal proximity doesn't grant ownership over someone's legacy. They argue that telling Wayne's story without approval, especially when it centers on tragedy, substance struggles, and loss, turns private pain into public spectacle. With legal warnings now clearly stated, and an official documentary already underway, this has become more than a disagreement about creative direction. It's a collision between memory, morality, and authority, one that may ultimately be decided in a courtroom rather than through storytelling. At the center of all this is a much bigger question that goes far beyond Wayne Static or Static X. As technology evolves and AI makes it possible to recreate voices, images, and even performances, the lines around consent and legacy are becoming dangerously thin. Wayne can't weigh in, Tera can't clarify intentions, and that silence is exactly why this situation feels so heavy. What happens next could set a precedent for how far creators are allowed to go when the subject of their work is no longer here to speak for themselves. Whether this ends in court or quiet compromise, one thing is clear. Wayne Static's story is no longer just about the past. It's about how the future chooses to remember him. Wayne Static's legacy is now caught between conflicting visions, a friend who wants to tell a long, unfinished story, and families determined to protect his memory and control how it's shared. With legal threats, AI controversies, and an official documentary already in motion, this isn't just a dispute over footage or music, it's a test of how we honor artists who are no longer here. The real question for fans and creators alike is simple but profound. When it comes to preserving a legacy, who truly gets to decide what's remembered and what should be left in the past? What do you think? Should friends or families have the final say over a late artist's story? Comment your thoughts below and join the conversation. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the latest updates on Wayne Static and other stories shaping the music world.